Hi! Today's exciting because we're talking about Impressionism, my favorite type of painting, I would say. When I first started painting, I painted really tight and realistic, like hyper-realistic, and I thought that was awesome, but now I hate that type of painting and I love loose, impressionistic, colorful, whimsical, doesn't look like real life type of paintings a lot more. So I want to talk about 5 easy steps you can follow to create an impressionistic painting. Impressionism is all about capturing the essence of something, the feeling of light or movement or a moment. It's not about capturing all the details. It's just about capturing what's important and portraying that in a way that makes you feel something when you look at the painting. And I like that these paintings can be quicker somewhat and a bit more simple. You're not trying to get all the details. It's just about a feeling. So yeah, let's talk about the 5 easy steps to create an impressionistic painting. The first step is I like to establish the main shapes and the large flat colors. So what I will do when I have a photo that I want to paint impressionistically, I will divide the photo up into sections in my mind. So maybe there's like 5 different sections that I see. And for each of those sections, I will think of a color that works well as the main flat color. So if there's a blue sky, that can be one section, and your flat color could either be blue or it could be orange because that's the opposite color of blue, and that could shine through. If you have a house and that's one section, that's great, and then your flat color could be red or blue or brown, anything you want it to be. Grass, same thing. You could do green as your flat color, or you could mix it up and do like red or orange so it can shine through. So after I establish those flat colors and shapes in the layout, next we want to think about what colors to use for our painting. So one thing about impressionistic paintings is they often don't use black, and they really stick to brighter pastels, bolder colors. So instead of using black, you'll often see like reds and greens and blues all layered next to each other to create a more dynamic dark value. You don't need black, that's so boring and flat. You want multiple colors to create a darker value. And same with lights. So instead of just having white for all your lights, you could layer light blues and light yellows and light pinks. And Impressionism is all about putting a lot of colors next to each other so that it looks like a totally different color from farther away, and it looks a lot more dynamic and layered and interesting. And you're also not blending the colors perfectly. You're really just putting them next to each other. So step 2 is all about, figuring out what colors to use and how to use them. Step 3 is all about losing the details. So with Impressionism, you want to think about seeing the whole picture and the whole vision. So what I like to do is look at my photo and sort of like squint my eyes or move far away and sort of just see like a more blurry full picture versus all the small details. I just want to capture what's important. That's it. And a great way to do this is to use a larger brush than you're usually comfortable with. So if you usually paint with a small brush and get all the details, maybe grab a really large brush and see what you can capture, what forms and shapes you can get with that large brush. And it's kind of a fun challenge because you'll surprise yourself because you can't get all those small details that you normally would get. But in turn, this creates a painting that feels very loose and boiled down to what's important. And during your painting, you also want to step back a lot and just see the bigger picture. That's really important as well. Step 4 is about the brush strokes. You want to use short, broken brush strokes with Impressionism. Something Impressionist artists do a lot is they switch up the color often, and they use really short brush strokes. And this ensures that you're getting that depth that we talked about, the multiple colors that look different from far away, and the short brush strokes create a lot of movement and light and a very painterly type of look. I really like to use a flat squared brush when I'm painting impressionistically, and I'll just kind of, use like pointillism techniques and use very choppy little brush strokes. Also, scumbling is amazing for Impressionism. Monet did this a lot, so you can let an area dry and then you can go back in and scumble, which is like dry brushing, like pressing a little bit of paint on top of another color, so you can layer those scumbled colors on top of each other, and it just creates a beautiful effect. And step 5 is to think about directions and moving the eye around the canvas. So you can do this by using directional brushstrokes. That means when you're painting, you think about going in a particular direction. Like if you think about Van Gogh, he's like swirling your eye around, directing your eye to a focal point, up or down or, you know, everywhere. So really think about intentional brushstrokes that are bold and going in directions to keep the eye moving and to give a sense of movement and aliveness to your painting. And those are the 5 easy steps. And as a bonus step, I would say keep your painting a bit unfinished. Don't worry about all the details or getting, you know, everything perfect or finished. Keep it a little bit unfinished and stop while you're ahead. I feel like I always go a little bit too far and then I miss the older version of my painting. So when you think it looks good, stop and let it sit for a day or two and you might just be finished with it. Because often less is more, especially with Impressionism.
Say what's on your